Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Please raise your hand if you think that your devices, like, iPads or the telephones or your laptops, are listening or capable of listening to you and providing the information to some people who want to retrieve the information. All right, so I'm a believer. I'm not a believer without evidence, though, but since we are on YouTube, I have to really mind my words. I have here an article that is very, very sneaky written, and that is from BBC. Apple to pay $95 million to settle Siri and its quote-unquote listening lawsuit. So from the very beginning, you find out that this is not a settled, it's not listening actually. You're just conspiracy theorists, says FBI, okay? All right. So before I start reading this article, I want to give you a little bit of information of how this video will proceed. I will speak as if I'm telling you a story, and it's not a real story. It's not a real story, okay? I'm gonna use Gigi, a guy, and the Gigi will tell you what the Gigi thinks about how things are running around with the telephones, with intelligence services in the United States of America, with the storing of information, all these big no-nos that we should not be aware of. But Gigi is an imbecile, and he's just gonna say things, but they're not true, okay? So after I'm starting to read this little article, I'm gonna transfer to Gigi, and Gigi is gonna tell you about the servers in, New Mexico and Texas, okay? Where he claims the information, the phone calls, the texts, the voicemails, the emails are just stored by a government, he thinks. All right, let's start with this first. Apple has agreed to pay $95 million, 77 million pounds, to settle a court case alleging some of its devices were listening to people without their permission. Do you think that's a case? That your, let's say, telephone is listening to you without your permission, and then that information could be accessed by whatever Gigi says? The tech giant was accused of eavesdropping on its customers through its virtual assistant Siri. The claimants also allege voice recordings were shared with advertisers. Do you think that to be true? Well, I'm going to talk about my direct experience with that. Apple, which has not admitted any wrongdoing, has been approached for comment. In the preliminary settlement, the tech firm denies any wrongdoing, as well as claims that it recorded, disclosed to third parties, or failed to delete conversations recorded as a result of the Siri activation without consent. Okay? Apple's lawyers also say they will confirm that they have permanently deleted individual Siri audio recording collected by Apple prior to October 2019. So isn't this an admission of being able to listen to you and then deleting what they recorded? Anyway, but the claimants say the tech firm recorded people who activated the virtual assistant unintentionally without using the phrase "Hey Siri" to wake up. They say advertisers who received the recordings could then look for keywords in them to better target ads. Okay, that's the most inoffensive use of that information they get from you. The least offensive. The lead plaintiff, Fumiko Lopez, oh my God, the Japanese and Latino, claims she and her daughter were both recorded without their consent. They allege they were served targeted ads after talking about products including Air Jordans. And they tell you here what's going on. They're going to receive, about 20, right here, could pay up to $20 per Siri-enabled devices they owned between 2014 and 2019. So this is how much you would get, $20. Okay. Let's talk about personal stuff a little bit. I understand when you drive your car, you're connected. If you want the app to be used while you're driving, they know your position, and that your device always knows where your position is. It could be activated. All right, it's not like, oh, it's deactivated. They could not know. Even if you're not accessed your position, your location is on. Oh, find my phone and these kind of things. They're off, but they're on. That's what Gigi told me. Now, Gigi might be lying, okay? Now, that's one. I tell you direct experience. I speak with people, and I have my phone, and we talk about something. Let's say something unrelated to the location where we are or to the direction we're going. Let's say we're driving, or maybe even without driving. And while we have a conversation, let's say about condoms, advertisements with condoms show up. All of a sudden, unlike before. You can say, well, that's normal. If I go on the telephone and I say, okay, Toronto, Ontario, talking, having the phone next to me, Toronto, Ontario, Toronto, is going to be some advertisements for hotels in Toronto and so on. So this thing is listening to you without you saying, hey, Siri, what the are you doing? Okay, for me, from Gigi, things are clear. Now, what Gigi told me that he listened to some people who work in this kind of field, and they told Gigi that they've been listening to you the old way. Remember the old way to the telephone? Your telephone was, with the one with the cord attached to the wall. Some people might not remember what those are. Anyway, so you put them over there with the phone on right there. They could listen to you, the Securitat and so on. Well, Gigi spoke with some of those people who were involved in this kind of operations in the communist Romania. I spoke with them. Nevertheless, what Gigi learned from other people, and a good start for you, is listen to how is his name? Snowden. Go to Snowden, who lives right now in Moscow, in Russia. Edward Snowden, the guy who defected and so on. He was a low-rank, U.S. Government employee regarding some information and communication. He's going to tell you, according to Gigi and Snowden and others, there are some servers that record automatically conversations. Before, they had to target you. Before, Gigi said that before they had to target you, like, oh, we're going to listen to this guy right now, and they put all the whatever they had outside, in here, in your whatever they have on the lamp, on the TV or so on. They had it over there. Now they don't have to do this. They just access the servers who allegedly, according to Gigi and his information, they store information automatically. And then a person like Mumu, if Mumu wants to find out what Lulu did, Mumu goes, accesses that. Mumu is a guy with, you know what I mean? Goes there, accesses and say Lulu, or Lulu, and then, or like this, or with the hooves, okay? And then get Lulu's information and say, okay, in Lulu, we put a keyword. Let's say we put the word attack. I'm not going to go with terror. And it's going to show the Lulu's information whenever he used that word in his emails, real life. And he's not listening right now. Oh my God, right now they're listening to me. No, they're not listening right now to me in that. Probably through this, if they access me. Yeah. So communication is recorded according to, what's his name? Gigi. You don't believe that? That's fine. What I'm trying to say is this. Don't even bother to hide. They know things about you that you don't even remember that you know about you. That is, they can retrieve the information. Now, a little example, easy example, and that is, you maybe heard this kind of people who say, now he's an elected official, or he's someone who's not doing the right thing. And then the mass media somehow unearths something you said or something you wrote as a comment, I don't know, 15 years ago, 17 years ago, on a obscure newspaper, media outlet, something. And then they are capable to retrieve that with no problem about you, an unknown person at that time. But now you're known and you are very uncomfortable right now. So behind the scenes, they give you some warnings. You said, well, and then they start bringing it little by little by. Say this is the first step, and then the next one, and then you have to react somehow. How in the hell this is possible? They can unearth things like you, I don't know, said when you were an unknown person. Not known, unknown. You can say, well, there's people who are working the mass media. Do you think the mass media has the human resources to do that? I don't think it's the mass media. I think the mass media makes a little phone call to someone that you and I pay for, which is an agency. And the agency has employees, right, that you pay for. Actually, you pay because they take your taxes forcefully. And they do the search. And then they pass the information to the mass media, who just found out that you tweeted, I don't know, whenever Twitter was around 15 years ago, or even like an obscure comment to Troco Troco. You made Troco Troco, you are oh my God, they will bring that and say, you said this 15 years ago, this time to this Troco Troco guy. Now, to tell me that this is just luck, or people are just so diligently doing their jobs and find out, all right, let's ask Gigi about it. So, don't worry hiding things or using, like whispering or something. They know everything not everything, but if you text something, that's already there. If you get uncomfortable to these guys, they will bring it back. So yeah, you're gonna receive $20 for Siri. Why even bother? They disclose the information and so on. The advertising, they claim in this article that they were talking about some medical issues, and then the advertisers showed some ideas and go there and do this kind of treatment, which I think it's good, but it just proves these guys are listening. So what? Like someone said, well, whenever I go to a hotel with my wife or girlfriend or whatever I have, I check for video cameras, little hidden cameras. Why do you bother? What are you going to see? Fucking hard someone? Okay, maybe you learned something. So that's a teaching experience for them, or learning experience for them. What do you think they're gonna how do you call it, post it somewhere? So anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today, my friends. They are listening, Gigi said. Remember, this is just a story. This is not true. It's not true. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.